Shalom, Kohala Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them, that taught us his truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yahshua, back with the World War III Daily Update. Shalom and salutations to you as well. All right, this is Joel 3 and 9. We're going to read it in a couple of these different versions. Start with the King James as always. Proclaim ye this, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, the other nations. Prepare war. Right? World War III is escalating as we speak. Okay, on many different fronts, different theaters. You got the South China Sea, you got the Korean Peninsula, you got Eastern Europe. You have the Valley of Yehoshaphat, which is the Middle East, where the final war, the final battle of Armageddon will be fought. They're fighting down in Africa right now, in Ethiopia. All right. This is called World War. All right. And that's just a few of the fronts. Syria, which Syria is in the battle of the Valley of Yehoshaphat as well. All right, so with that, we're watching this prophecy come to pass. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. In the NIV, proclaim this among the nations. So the nations, the Gentiles, the Gentile nations. Prepare for war, rouse the warriors, okay? Call out your best warriors. Stir up the mighty men. What does it mean to stir up? It means to rouse. Okay? Wake up the mighty men. Prepare for war. Get ready for war. Consecrate for war. Prepare for war. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Set yourselves apart for war. Okay? Wake up, stir up, rouse up. Rouse up. Stir up, rouse, rouse, stir, rouse, line up for battle, and prepare to attack. Okay, that's pretty telling. Call your warriors, gather all your soldiers, and march. Okay, stir up the mighty ones. All right, good enough. So, I'm going to keep this short today. I'm going to let Dina Calametta, I'm going to let her give the update. She's pretty thorough. I think I saw some of this the other day, or this is a day ago, so I kind of seen it. And it's not too long, it's 6 minutes and 56 seconds. She's just going to sum it all up, right? On these different fronts in these different theaters. So let's let her speak. Israeli strikes Damascus, that's Syria, airport. Ukraine rocket kills 63 Russian troops trying to prepare for war. Okay, so that's three different fronts right there, three different theaters. The Middle East, right? Eastern Europe, and South China Sea. Okay, let's listen.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's Dina Calametta here, and I hope you all had a wonderful new year. But for today's report, I'd like to start with China, as it has been reported that former National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster has predicted that China will move on Taiwan, adding that he viewed the Chinese dictator as actually preparing his people for war right now. He went on to state, "I think we have to be careful not to mirror image, not to fall into the same traps as we did with Putin of confirmation bias and optimism bias." The Chinese president has made it quite clear in his statement that he's going to make, from his perspective, China whole again by subsuming Taiwan, and the preparations are underway. He went on to state, is that I think is what is important is deterrence. Good old-fashioned deterrence by denial. I mean hard power matters, and I think we are underinvested in defense in the United States. China has become increasingly aggressive, not only from an economic and financial perspective and a diplomacy perspective, but physically with its military. And what's really disturbing, he said finally, is that the Chinese president is preparing the Chinese people for war. In some of his speeches, he said to restore China to national greatness, it's going to take some time and some sacrifices. So I think we have to take it very seriously and act to extend our power. We talk a lot about relying on our allies. And then maybe, if we take a step back, the allies will do more. I think actually the opposite is the case. If Americans just do a little bit more, many of our allies will follow suit and bolster their defense capabilities and capacity as well. In the meantime, Chinese diplomat Wang Yi said on Sunday that China and the U.S. must pursue dialogue rather than confrontation and avoid the mistakes made during the Cold War. In an essay published in the official party journal Seeking Truth, Wang urged major countries to set an example in the face of multiple challenges, citing China's strengthened cooperation with Russia over 2022. He wrote that over the past year we have unremittingly explored the correct way for the two major countries of China and the United States to get along with each other. The two countries should establish a way of getting along with mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation, and put China and U.S. relations back on the right track of health and stability. It goes on to finally report that in his essay, he said that Taiwan remained at the core of China's core interests, and the foundation of which China's political relationship with the United States is built. Now, with China in mind, it's also been reported Japan said on Monday that it had scrambled jet fighters and dispatched aircraft and warships over the past 2 weeks to keep tabs on China's Lining aircraft carrier and 5 warships that conducted naval maneuvers and flight operations in the Pacific. Japan monitored the operations after the Chinese naval group, which included missile destroyers, sailed between the main island into the western Pacific from the East China Sea on December 16th, before returning the same way on Sunday. The Chinese carrier conducted more than 300 takeoffs and landings of fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters. Now, while China has conducted similar operations in the past, including one in May, the latest large-scale military drills come closer to Japanese islands after Japan announced it would double its defense spending over the next 5 years in a bid to deter China from using its military to push territorial claims in the region. In the meanwhile, the South Korean president said that his government is in talks with the U.S. on taking a more active role in managing nuclear weapons on the Korean Peninsula, which of course would mark a significant shift in a decades-old policy among American allies to deter North Korea. The South Korean president stated that while the nuclear weapons belong to the U.S., intel sharing, planning, and training should be done jointly. The United States stance is quite positive. He also said that the strategy of nuclear umbrella or extended deterrence is no longer reassuring for the public, now that North Korea has developed nuclear weapons and a range of missiles to deliver them. Since taking power last May, Yoon has sought to put South Korea on a path of overwhelming military strength against North Korea, which has launched scores of missiles in defiance of United Nations resolutions and is preparing for another nuclear test. Over the weekend, the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un pledged to increase his nuclear arsenal in 2023 to stifle U.S. and South Korean hostile acts. He left almost no opening for a return to long-stalled disarmament talks, calling instead for an exponential increase of his nuclear arsenal. Over in Russia, more than 60 Russian troops have been killed by a Ukrainian missile, according to Moscow. The bombardment hit a temporary housing area used by Russian forces in Donbass. The facility was targeted by 6 missiles from U.S.-supplied HIMARS multiple rocket launchers, according to the Defense Ministry. 2 projectiles were intercepted by air defenses, but 4 made it through. The Defense Ministry spokesman stated that as a result of a strike by 4 missiles with high explosive warheads on a temporary deployment point, 63 Russian servicemen were killed. It goes on finally to report that Russia's foreign ministry earlier condemned Washington for not only supplying the sophisticated weapons to Ukraine, but also providing the Ukrainian military with intelligence about the location of the Russian forces. So guaranteed, there's definitely going to be a retaliatory reaction from Russia to the U.S. and Ukraine. So I guess we're just going to have to sit tight and wait to see what that is. In the meantime, Israel has struck the Damascus airport. Damascus International Airport was forced to suspend operations early on Monday after an Israeli missile strike left 2 soldiers dead and damaged the facilities, according to the Syrian Defense Ministry. Israeli planes struck the airfield and surrounding areas at around 2 a.m. local time. The missiles came from the direction of the Sea of Galilee, located in Israeli territory around 100 kilometers southwest of Syria's capital. The Post read that the aggression left 2 military personnel killed and 2 others wounded, causing material damage and putting the airport out of service. And the IDF has not confirmed the strike. So definitely a lot of action over the weekend. And as always, I will continue to keep you updated. But please do leave your comments below this video. I'd love to hear from all of you. And with that said, thank you everybody for watching.
All right, so there's Dina. She's pretty succinct and she very thorough. So, all right, again, that's Dina Amelia Calmetta's channel. All right, today's or yesterday, Israel strikes Damascus airport. Ukraine rockets kill 63 Russian troops. China prepare. What is this? Prepare war. Let's go back on that real quick. What was it? Oh, Revelation. Oh, proclaim ye this. Prepare a war. Prepare for holy war. Prepare war. Get ready for war. Prepare for war. And Dina's a little religious. China prepares for war. So is this jumping off of the prophecies jumping off the page here? Pretty much. All right. So prepare for what war? All right. So the Bible isn't going to say World War III. In code, if you will. Revelation 11 and 14. We'll end on this. The second woe is past. All right. Referencing World War II. And behold, the third woe, World War III, cometh quickly. All right. So with that, we hope that the elect are edified for the update. You brothers and few sisters, with that, we can say shalom.